All right, now welcome back. Welcome back. Still on Pentateuch. Still on Pentateuch with emphasis on Genesis. So I will now be talking about the themes. What are the major themes of Pentateuch? Firstly, let's ask yourself, what's the meaning of themes? Literally, in literature, themes means the central idea of a particular literary book material. What is the central idea? What is that book actually talking about? So now when we look through the Pentateuch books, we are going to see that the Pentateuch actually addresses a lot of themes. So from these themes, we are going to bring out four of it. So the first theme of the Pentateuch is what we call the theme of election. The theme of election. The theme of election. So, and the theologians call this election theology. So that is, this has to do with God calling and setting apart some people for himself. God calling some people outside, out of other people's election, just to vote, to choose someone from other people. That is the election. So, and we have all through the Pentateuch, basically at the beginning of the Pentateuch, we are going to see how God elected and called and chose some people over other people. Do you understand? How God chose other people from other outside people. So we are starting with Abraham himself. The theme of election started with Abraham himself. God called Abraham out of his father's land. So he went into covenant with him. So he made the special that is a covenant of making him a special nation out of all nations. You have a lot of nations. God called a single man out, and from him God said he was going to actually make a nation out of this single man. This nation will be for God alone. It's a concept of theology. That is God calling someone out of other people. The concept of theology, of election rather. Concept of election. God called people, calling a certain set of people or a single person out of other people, and choose to use the person or to establish his covenant with the person. That is the covenant, that is the theme of election. God called Abraham out of other people and promised to actually make him a nation for him, a special nation. Not only that, we also have another example in Genesis chapter 17 to 21 too. So we see how God elected Isaac. God chose Isaac over Ishmael. God chose Isaac over Ishmael. God chose Isaac over Ishmael. How God, Hagar gave birth to Ishmael. But God told, because of that, according to biblical narrative, God did not even speak to Abraham for several years. So it was as a result of a mistake, or it's as a result of what Abraham did. He did not consult God before going into that. So as a result of that, God was very annoyed. He was very angry at him. So by the time he gave birth to Isaac, so God said, the promise is not for Ishmael. The promise is for Isaac. So God chose Isaac over Ishmael. We also have examples like Jacob. God chose Jacob over Esau, which is Esau. That is, we find that in Genesis 25 verse 23. So God also Joseph was loved more than his brother too. He was actually chosen. That is the reflection of God's love, like that. So that is Genesis 37 verse 3. So we also have Moses too. We're now moving into Exodus. Moses was elected by Yahweh, by God, as the deliverer of the Israelites from exile. God called Moses out of all people that he should go and deliver his people from land of slavery. That is Exodus chapter 3 from verse 10 to 12. So God also chose the tribe of Levi. The tribe of Levi, they were elected by God to actually serve. They were elected by God as priests who will serve before God, who we serve before him. So they were especially, and the tribe of Levi were especially the, what's it called, the clan of Aaron. So we can see that in Exodus chapter 28 verse 1 to verse 1 forward, actually. So, and finally we also have how God elected Joshua. God elected Joshua, still in the Pentateuch, the theme of election. God elected Joshua to take the Israelites to the promised land. Yes, God elected Joshua to take the Israelites to the promised land. We have that in Numbers 27:18 to 23, and Deuteronomy 31 from verse 3. Verse 3, we have verse 7, verse 14, and so on and so forth. So the theme of election talks of how God called and choose people for I choose people for a special mission. God called them, choose them, commission them for a special mission. And throughout throughout the Pentateuch, God's election is reaffirmed. God reaffirmed it. And he also, this election highlighted the love of God for his people, his favor, and the commitment to this particular nation. This nation, God dealt with them from because of his love and the favor he had for them. So that is election, the theology of election, or the theme of election. God calling an individual, dealing with this individual because of the love he had for them, and because of his favor for them. So that is the theme of election. So in the next video, I'll be talking about the second theme, which is called theme of covenant. So stay tuned.